Hello, welcome to another episode of Pure Faith Podcast. Podcast where we discuss all things Bible.
Hey,
I'm Michelle.
too close. I'm Mitchell.
You're spitting.
That's staying in.
Me too.
That's staying in.
Nobody wants to see that.
Well, I'm sure everybody was
No.
saying
Yeah.
I was gonna black out my tooth too.
that. Should.
Hello. Yeah, so welcome to another episode of the Pure Faith Podcast where we discuss all things Bible. This is my brother Mitchell,
Okay.
and tonight he's going to be put on a Bible study for us. Just not sure what it's going to be about. So, if you haven't done so already, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I don't know, do whatever you got to do.
And don't forget to hit the notification.
That
button
notification icon,
to be notified every time we release a new episode.
yeah, to be notified.
Do you have a little bit of a twang going on there?
I talk to truck drivers all day.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get when you talk to a truck driver. I love them all. They're all, yep, but you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, it just seemed like there was a little bit of a twang in there.
And you've got a hat on,
Yeah.
and we both have bibs on. I know, right? I've been debating on when to wear these. I was going to wear them to church on Sunday,
You should have.
but I might have got them a little too small. I'm like, boy, these are not comfortable. I am not wearing these to church.
What do you still have the pair? I got you.
I do, and those
That
are.
was last year.
Yeah, I can wear about 4 layers underneath that. I'm going to wear them to the football game when it starts snowing. Hopefully, we still are playing football when it snows, but we'll see.
No.
But yeah, I'll wear them if it gets too cold out.
Okay.
So,
Do you want to hear a fun story?
yeah,
So, this past Sunday,
yeah,
Paige and I, well, we came to church, obviously.
yeah. We heard your kids.
Yeah, everybody. Probably heard the kids. Well, after church, we went to Greenville.
I've heard the story.
Oh, where'd you hear from?
I worked out with Paige on Monday.
Oh,
I don't know. Might be a different
I'm
story.
curious to see what her
It's a
version of it
different
was.
story. Okay. Tell me the story.
So we go to Greenville, which is a bigger town not far from us. It's where all the bigger stores are. And we got to eat for lunch.
Yes,
After lunch, we're like, and lunch took a lot longer than we anticipated.
because they had all 3 kids.
And
Divide and conquer.
so we're like, yes, we're gonna have to divide and conquer here so we can get through all of our other tasks and stops so we can get home because Matt went
Before midnight. Oh.
So I dropped Paige and our youngest, Ephraim, off at the grocery store.
Yep.
And then I go over to Rural King, and me and Zeke and Eli go in to get chicken feed and wood shavings and a couple other things that we needed.
Because he remodeled the chicken barn.
I did.
Just so you guys know, he
Remodeled
remodeled the chicken barn.
Yeah.
Chicken
Well, I
house.
didn't really remodel it. I was
It got
finishing it
upgraded.
out. I was getting it insulated and winterizing it, put a better door on it.
Yeah.
It's just a Taj Mahal for chickens.
Yes. So we can have eggs.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyhow, so you go into the Rural King.
The Rural King.
Did you get popcorn?
No, I didn't get any popcorn.
Because you guys already had lunch.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So you're walking through Rural King
And well,
with Zeke
Actually,
and Eli.
yeah, well, they were crazy, but that's not the funny part. So we leave Rural King,
Oh.
and we
The funny
go.
part was the Rural King that I heard.
Are you talking about the lady at the checkout? So yeah, Zeke and
Back
I,
up.
we gave them ice cream for dessert at lunch.
Oh,
So they were
such
a little
bad
amped up.
idea.
And at checkout, they were all over the place. And after I got done checking out, and I was yelling at the boys the whole time I was checking out. But then I kind of got them moving towards the door to leave, and the lady that was running the register may have said good luck. I'm like, thanks, I want to need it. As the boys then darted off, and I had to go chase them down.
Oh my yikes.
But no, that wasn't even the funny
Oh,
part.
okay, I didn't hear anymore. Okay.
I mean, that was funny. But so then we go back to the grocery store, and we're sitting out in the parking lot waiting for Paige. And Zeke kept saying, Dad, I gotta pee, I gotta pee, I gotta pee. I'm like, well, I'm not taking both of you all the way into Kroger just to
right?
go pee.
Yeah.
He's like, Zeke, can you wait till Mom gets back out? And he's like, I really gotta pee, I really gotta pee. And he offered to get out and pee out,
Of course he did.
In the park.
which, yeah, which, if we're at home, who cares? Yeah, you gotta pee, get out, go pee.
Right.
I had to explain to him, this is a public area, and you
can't just
you
whip it
can't
out
just
here.
get out. I mean, up to a certain
A
point,
police officer might knock on your door.
at a certain point, it's cute, but he's getting to the point, which should probably still be considered cute, but he's starting to get to that
Yeah.
point. So I'm like, no, we can't just get out and just pee all over the
No,
place.
we sure can't.
And so, but he was complaining and whining. I'm like, I think it's time.
Yeah.
So
And
I taught Zeke
how to pee
in a bottle.
A Gatorade bottle. He's gonna do this all the time. Be in church, be like, Dad, you got a Gatorade bottle?
He's gonna
I gotta
crash
pee.
and stuff. Hey, you got a bottle?
So
Say no.
it worked pretty good, except for the fact that I think he was standing on the stroller. So I was still in the front seat. And I was holding the bottle for him because I didn't trust him to do it himself. And he may have slipped. And in the process,
Man.
a certain seal was broken, and I may have got pee on my arm.
Oh.
But
To be
We-
good.
Just-
we were able to finish, and it was a great success. But then the funny part was,
that wasn't even the funny part.
so then we're still waiting for Paige, and at this point, Eli wants to be like his big brother.
Yeah.
So then Eli wants to pee in the bottle. I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
okay, but before I could get Eli out to pee in the bottle because he was strapped in his car seat, Paige comes out. So I'm like, oh, okay, so we're gonna get groceries loaded up. And
No.
Uh-oh.
so
No.
I get out, I get in the back,
I can see it now.
and we open up the back latch to the car, and Zeke's standing there with his bottle of pee in hand, and was like, Mom, look, I peed in a bottle. Way louder than what he needed to, because she wasn't that far away. I'm like, oh man, Zeke, quiet. And Paige just looks at me with a deadpan expression, just why?
What did you do?
And so I had to explain to her, Zeke really had to go pee,
Let me get these groceries, honey.
So I explained it to her and put the groceries away, and she's like, that is getting thrown away. And then she grabs it to go throw it away, and she's like, it's still warm. I'm like, of course it is. He just peed. So she throws it away, and I didn't even think much of it. I'm putting groceries in the car.
Yeah.
And then I go around to get Eli out. Meanwhile, catch a whiff of something and realize that Ephraim had pooped his
Oh my
pants.
gosh.
Well, Paige takes him all the way back into the store to change his diaper.
She doesn't change it right in the vehicle?
Normally she does. I don't know why she decided to go all the way back in the store. So
Oh.
needless to say,
Eli had to pee.
Eli had to pee. So I get Eli out. She threw that bottle away, so I had to find another bottle. Luckily, I found another bottle in her car.
In your car?
No, not mine. No, it was just her car.
Oh, I never would think there was another bottle in that
technically,
car.
Zeke found one.
Okay.
He had one tucked away somewhere in his back seat. So he finds this bottle. He gives it to me. I'm like, okay. So
Oh.
Eli peed in the bottle. No incidents. And then we're out there again waiting for Paige. So we're sitting there. We're waiting. Well, this time, whenever Paige comes out, Zeke's like, oh, Mom's coming. I'm like, okay. As soon as she turns the corner at the end of the aisle where all the cars are, we're like 15, 20 spots back. He is leaning out Eli's window, yelling at the top of his lungs, Mom, Eli peed in a bottle too! Across the parking lot. And I couldn't stop him fast enough.
No.
It came out, and I'm like, Zeke, no, quiet. And again, Paige comes up,
Oh.
putting Ephraim in the car, and she looks at me, why? And I just happened to tell her there's benefits to having a hose attached. So
Moral of the story: she is not going to leave Mitchell and the boys sitting in the car very long next time
I
they
thought
go
it was
someplace.
very efficient. I mean, for for the first time, only one little mishap,
Yeah.
and it was all absorbed by the shirt on my sleeve.
Mm.
I
Ugh,
thought it all worked great.
it's a great story.
Yeah.
Oh boy, they will have that for the rest of their life.
A life skill.
It is a life
It is.
skill. Yeah.
Hey, I used that skill a lot when I was deployed.
Well, I hate to say it, but I think Dad used that skill quite a bit when he was a truck driver. So it is what it is.
So there's benefits.
There are benefits. You're exactly right. Oh boy, hilarious.
So yeah, so then the next day, go to the VA.
Yes, and I didn't get to go with you. I was gonna go
No.
with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were trying hard.
I
I knew
was.
Mom was behind it.
Yeah. So mom might have reached out to me like maybe on Wednesday. She came to the house, I think. She went to go, I don't know. She came to the house and she was like, "Hey, Mitchell's got an appointment on Monday. Um, he doesn't want me to go with her, so or he doesn't want me to go with him. So can you go with them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go with them." She's like, "I don't think he wants anybody to go. He doesn't want me to go." I'm like, "Oh, I'll go with them. It's fine." So I sent Mitchell a text and he's like, "Why?" And I said, "Oh, I just thought you might like my company." And he's like, "Is Mom behind this?" I'm like, Mom who? No.
Exactly.
I'm like, "I thought we might get some breakfast and coffee." But then I had to back out because I forgot two of my coworkers were out that day, so I had to stay back. And actually, I mean, good or not good, I would have got breakfast, lunch, and possibly dinner if I went along.
Yeah. It's a long
So
day.
it was a long day.
Yeah, long morning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're back in town by what, 1:30 or 2 maybe?
I think I was back at work by 1.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, yeah. So at this appointment, I found out that I have cancer.
Mitchell has the cancer.
I caught the cancer.
He caught the cancer.
So, yeah, I thought we might talk about that for a while
Yeah.
because
I have box tissues just in case. I feel like I'll be okay.
so the backstory to this, what was it? You might have heard us talking over the past few episodes. I've been going to a lot of appointments at the VA,
Mm-hmm.
and one of those appointments was an ultrasound for my gallbladder. I've been having some, we'll just say, intestinal discomfort.
Okay.
Only on occasion, and like I don't have really any issues most of the time because I learned what triggers it.
Right.
And
So
I
if
changed my
anybody,
diet, so
yeah, if anybody knows like gallbladder symptoms, like if you stay away from fatty foods and, certain things, then you feel a little bit better. But some people have gallbladder attacks, and that could have been one of the
that
symptoms
may
that you
have been, I
had.
don't know. But that was one of the ideas my doctor had was, well, let's check your gallbladder just to see if there's anything going on there, and that could be the issue or the cause of your issue. So I go there, just routine ultrasound on my side, no big deal. Later on that afternoon, typically when I have test ran at the VA,
At the VA, it takes a little while.
well, normally I get the results in a letter by mail,
Okay.
and it's like, yeah, you're fine, get over it. So, but after this ultrasound, I got 3 phone calls that same day from different people. So the first one was just to tell me that they found something that they didn't like. And that's about all they really said about what they found. And she ran me through some questions for an MRI, which I'm like, I just had an MRI like a week or two ago on a different area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't say, oh, well, I don't really have to ask you all these questions. So I'm like, okay. So then my next phone call was from the people at the MRI, and they scheduled me an appointment for that next Tuesday morning. So I go to that, sit in there, and it was fun. not really.
Anybody who has an MRI knows it's not fun.
It really doesn't bother me. I kind of find it kind of relaxing until they shot up the contrast stuff in my arm.
Yeah.
And that wasn't fun.
No.
But when I was there, they asked me what I was getting an MRI on, and I was just like, my innards.
Yeah. I don't know.
I really don't know.
Doesn't it say on the
Nope.
paperwork?
Nobody told me, so I just know it's
Waist down.
in here somewhere, in my innards area.
Innards.
So while I was in getting the MRI, they actually looked it up to see what they actually need to be looking at. And whenever I came out, they told me that they wanted a closer look at my kidneys. So I'm like, okay, well, now I know. Well, first I knew they found something. Now I know it's my kidneys,
Mm-hmm.
but I still don't know what it is. So I
Right.
didn't have another appointment again because also the day of that ultrasound, my third phone call was with the urologist, the
Mhm.
specialist for that. And so, but they set the appointment. So the MRI was Tuesday morning. I didn't have the appointment till that following Monday morning because they wanted to make sure they had all the images and everything in time to look at them. Even though the people who gave me the MRI told me that it was ordered stat and that they were going to have the images by the end of the day. But yet I still had to wait 6 days for that appointment.
Of course.
Which, whatever. But so for that 6 days, I'm like, well, there's something wrong with my kidneys.
Yep.
I did get another phone call.
Oh.
I think the day after the MRI, so it'd been Wednesday, I got a phone call just to tell me that I was not allowed to miss my appointment on Monday.
Yes, Mom told me. That's when Mom came to my house.
That's
the day.
They're like,
Because she's like, Mitchell got a phone call and said he could not miss his appointment. So she's like, we need to go. We need to go with him. Somebody needs to go with him.
I told you, I had Jesus with me. That's all I needed.
He did tell me that. He said, no need for you to come with me. I got Jesus with me. I'm like, I understand, but it's always nice to have somebody else to have coffee with.
And then I wore my, I think it's actually the same shirt I wore to church Sunday.
Your
My
ketchup
shirt. I was like, hey,
Jess thinks that's the funniest shirt.
I just want everybody to know where I stand.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Yeah.
So I got that phone call saying I was not allowed to miss that appointment. So then I was like, well, whatever it is, it's serious.
And by this point, we all knew that you had all of these appointments. You had an ultrasound, you had an MRI, you had a phone call that says you cannot miss an appointment on Monday. So we all were like,
So we knew they found something.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know what,
Or
how big, how extensive. We didn't know the details.
Yeah.
And my thinking was, if it was that serious, they would have rescheduled that appointment for Monday to like, you need to come in
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they never changed the appointment. They just said I couldn't miss the appointment.
Right.
So I'm like, well,
right.
I'm probably going to be living at least this next week.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So yeah, I went to the appointment and he said a 99.9% chance it's cancer. And they know that based on the size, and it is 6 centimeters, which is 2.4 inches. And if you actually look at it on the image, it's like Pac-Man eating my kidney. It's huge.
Yeah.
And
it's just one.
It's just my right kidney. My left kidney is perfectly fine. And actually, my kidney function is perfectly fine.
I know. That was one of the questions that I think a lot of, like Don and my kids had, how are his kidneys? Because we jokingly, after Mitchell had told me that he had caught the cancer in his kidney, I told him that I couldn't donate one of mine because it wouldn't fit.
Which I think you got this backwards. Because I'm bigger than you.
It's too little for you.
Well,
mine's too little. And then I said,
it would fit.
Yeah, it just wouldn't function right. And then I said, and you don't want Don's because it's full of kidney stones.
I said, no, I don't. But I can function just fine. My one good kidney.
Yes.
I don't know. Where was I going with that?
Yeah, you were talking about the size of it.
Oh yeah,
and so then,
it was huge.
Yeah.
Huge. But based on the size, based on the shape, as in it was kind of an irregular shape.
Mm-hmm.
So there are different types of tumors and stuff that they typically see, especially on kidneys. But this didn't fit any of that criteria. And then the other thing is that in the image, they didn't see any kind of fatty tissue or anything like within the tumor.
Mm-hmm.
So that also ruled out some of these other ones. So pretty much the only one left.
So they could tell that it wasn't like fluid, like there was no fluid in it, or like
like no, I guess on certain type of tumors, there's like fatty tissue like in it
oh, okay.
or something,
I don't know.
but there's no fattiness in it, so it's
Okay.
like it's not that kind.
He was
So
told there was no fattiness
yeah,
to his
I was.
kidney.
All I heard was you're skinny. Thanks, doc.
Right?
So yeah, so he's pretty much sure that
That's what
it
it is.
was that.
Yeah, so they're not gonna just because of the fact that you've got two kidneys and one is fully functioning well, actually both are functioning just fine.
Yeah.
They decide instead of biopsying it, they're going to just
They're
remove
just
it.
going to remove it because it's covering up so much of my kidney that it would be too much of a risk to try to just take out that portion.
Mm-hmm.
Something about too close to blood vessels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're the doctor. I know nothing. So whatever you say works for me.
Yeah. Just
So,
take it.
Yeah, just take it.
Yeah.
Like, that one's fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I just can't play any contact sports.
Wait, you can't?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, how are the boys gonna survive?
Well, at first, I thought it was funny. Like, why would I play contact sports? And then I got thinking about, like, crap. Oh, no WrestleMania.
No horseback rides, no
Horseback
bull
rides are
rides.
Fine. As long as they don't have spurs and spurring me.
We'll see. We'll see. So you now have a surgery scheduled for December the 13th, which is just a few days prior to Olivia's wedding.
Yay!
So
Well, I wasn't invited to the wedding anyway.
well, let's just make sure that everybody knows that it's not that you weren't invited to the wedding, that we are doing a small ceremony with just parents, godparents, and grandparents. And since you are not a godparent, that you didn't have to come. And since Noah is actually marrying them, you didn't have to do that part either. So otherwise, you would be there. So believe me, it was a very hard decision on my part. Like I was like, no, we gotta invite them. We gotta invite them. Well, now you wouldn't be able to go anyhow. So it's whatever.
Well, there's the excuse.
Right? Yeah.
I would
Sorry.
love to go, but I just can't.
Yeah, it's gonna probably be in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They told me I could be in the hospital for up to 7 days,
Yeah.
but then they told me I was young and healthy
What's
that
that look for?
because I'm young and healthy.
They didn't say you were good looking. They said you were young and healthy. You don't have
That's
to wink
good
at the
looking.
camera.
I didn't wink. Just gave a.
Yeah.
Weird.
But no, since I am young and healthy,
Mhm.
besides the fact that I have cancer,
Mhm.
that's it might only be like 3 or 4 days that I'm actually in the hospital.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario, they told me a week in the hospital and 2 weeks off work. Most likely 3 to 4 days in the hospital, maybe a week off work, and then going back to light duty for a while.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Yeah.
So in stating this, that I think that you have said it multiple times. I think to us passing in church or to even in your message when you filled in here at church, you said that you could see God working in many
Yeah.
ways. As you all have heard if you've listened to the podcast where Mitchell talked about his trip to the ER that was not
Yeah.
covered by his insurance because it quote unquote lapsed, which I still don't get. But you said,
God.
yeah, you said it's God working, and and even in your your retirement from the military, and all the paperwork that had to be processed, and all the things that you've been going through, that everything. It seemed like everything was just a stab in the kidney. Can I say that?
Sure. I like puns.
No, but in all of that, it really did. It felt like, it was just another kick. And, you look at this, and if you wouldn't have gone to the VA to do some of these tests that you were doing, like they said, they never would have found it. The only reason they find kidney cancer is for people who come in for something else.
Yes, they said 90% of tumors they find on kidneys, it's found secondary. They're looking at something else and they just happen to see it, and
Until
that's how they
it's
find
a
it.
different stage, probably. Like, once you get to a certain stage of it, of course you're going to have different symptoms, I imagine, and
Yeah.
different ways of knowing that something's going on with your kidneys, but you didn't have anything wrong with your kidneys.
Yeah.
There was
Nothing to indicate that there was any kind of issues with my
Right.
kidneys.
and to take a step back, so our grandpa Conk, mom's dad,
Yep.
had kidney cancer, and
Yep.
he had one of his kidneys removed. And I told Paige he lived to be a very ornery,
How old was he when he
I don't know,
passed? He was
86,
80 something.
80 something. I'm like, Mitchell gets his
He was-
orneriness from
he was
Grandpa
ornery.
Conk, so I'm gonna say that we probably got a few years.
He was ornery.
He was very ornery. And mom went in, years ago, and they found tumors on her kidney, but hers were benign. So, they just removed hers. But, there's a history of it too,
Yeah.
but not enough for us to be like, hey, can you check me for kidney cancer? Like,
Yeah.
you just don't do something like that.
And I didn't even know Grandpa had kidney cancer until Mom told me whenever
After-
I said I have issues with my kidneys.
Yes. Yeah. And you find that with some things too, some things just aren't really talked about. When you say, who had cancer, you think of like breast cancer and, cervical cancer and, lung cancer. Because, we had uncles who had lung cancer, but never once did mom say, well, Grandpa Conk had kidney cancer because he wasn't dying from it.
Yeah.
He had one removed. He lived a long, healthy life, and there was just no talk about it because he was fine. So, yeah.
So I consider myself blessed.
Yeah.
And like I told you, and like I told Mom, which is I think one of the reasons why she took it the way she did, was, and you kind of hinted at it, is this does go along with all the other stuff that's been happening here lately. I do think, I mean, I see God working in this. With the whole fact of losing our insurance, I kind of gave that story in past episodes. Sorry. I got cancer.
Please don't cough on me. We
Anyways.
said we were going to do that joke, but it's really not funny.
It's not, because a lot of people,
Yeah.
they hear cancer, and we've lost a sister from cancer.
Yeah.
So we realize the stress, the fact that it does scare a lot of people.
It does.
But this goes along with what I was getting ready to say, is I want to use this as a way of showing people that just because you get a bad diagnosis, your doctor tells you have cancer, it doesn't mean your life has to end. It doesn't mean that you should just crumble and give up. And no, life goes on.
Yeah.
And even if I do die from this, I'm okay. I am not scared of death at all. Why? Because I have joy in my life. We talked about this. And that's actually why I do feel blessed. And I do think that this timing is perfect, because we just went through the Beatitudes. What did we talk about? Having joy. Michelle, stop it.
I can't.
We went through how to be salt and light. How to, especially here towards the last few episodes, how to let not your light, but let God's light, Jesus' light, shine off of you to others, to be a beacon for others. That's what I want to use this for. So yeah, is there a chance that they're doing a surgery and something goes wrong, and basically the same thing happens to me that happened to our sister, where the cancer metastasizes and goes to different areas of my body and becomes more than the doctors can keep up with,
Right.
and eventually she lost her 2-year battle with cancer? Could that happen? Absolutely. Am I worried about it? I'm not going to say I'm not worried about it.
You're not worried for
thoughts-
yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I think I would look at it. Is like I'm not worried for myself because I know where I'm going. I'm worried for my
everybody else.
kids and my wife and my mom and
You have a
my
wife?
sister. For me.
So yeah, I
No.
that is the worst part. And actually the hardest time I had telling somebody was telling Chip,
Oh, okay.
because of Missy and
Right.
the history and all that. But
Right.
I didn't break down when I told you.
No.
I barely broke down when I told Paige.
Right.
I didn't break down at all when I told Mom or
No.
Matt or anybody else. But with Chip, it was hard. But that's just because of the history and
Right.
the struggles that he went through during
Oh,
Missy's.
well, that's a light shine on us. Did you see the light? The light came on. We are shining our light. I didn't cry when you told me. I did, and
No, but I heard you cried a lot after you hung up with me.
don't. How do you know? You weren't there. But I didn't. I choked up a couple of times just because, again, you think of everybody else, and the people I thought about at that time. Of course, were Paige and the boys. But I think more for Mom and for Matt.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt is. He takes things very hard, and yeah, he was one of them. So I talked to Kendra and I was like, "Oh, how'd Matt do?" And she's like, "Well, he acted like he was doing just fine, but she's like, I'll find out later." So I mean, it's just it's a like I've said it multiple times, it's a kick at first, but then you realize it's like he's got 2 kidneys.
Yeah.
People survive from this. And people are supposed to survive from cervical cancer too, and especially when they say it's the kind that is most curable, and we know that didn't happen with Missy, but there was a reason for it.
Yes.
There's a reason for everything.
Yes.
So.
And I feel the reason for mine is to help others who are going through this. Again, like I was saying, to be that salt and that light.
Yeah.
To just kind of help show, because every week I plan on giving a little bit of an update as far as what's going on. And now, granted, over the next few weeks, we're just going to be kind of in a holding pattern.
Yeah. Right.
Until surgery.
Right.
But yeah, so we
I know,
are
'cause
dedicating this episode to this topic.
Yeah.
But next week we're going to get right back into the Bible study.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you're excited. Anyways, but yeah, that's what I want to use this for. I want to use it for God's glory, not mine. I'm just I want to say tohu vavohu, but
A what?
yeah,
let's not say that. Why would you say that?
I'm trying to think of what it actually means.
Well, let's not think too hard because our time's up.
Like meaningless. I'm hevel. That's weird.
Okay.
Meaningless. I'm just like a breeze. I'm here and gone. Our lives are temporary.
Right.
Our
Right.
lives.
Yes.
This body is a tent.
Yes.
It's a temporary habitat for us to live in. Eventually, we're all going to leave our bodies.
Yes.
And like I said before, I have no fear of death. I know exactly where I'm going when I die.
Right.
Again, like you said, though, I do worry about Paige and the boys. And personally, I would love to live till I'm 70. Or at least 67, so I can be dad.
Thanks.
But yes, I would like to live till I'm 70, but it's not up to me.
It's
It's not my choice.
Nope.
We're living lives according to God's plan.
Yep.
And like I've told you in the past, my prayer is always, I trust that whatever happens in my life, good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. It's happening because it's what God intends.
Right.
I pray for God's will to be done in my life, no matter what it is.
Right.
So when He sends me cancer, I am going to use it for His glory.
Right.
Again, it's not about me, it's about Him, and that's what I want to do. So
Right.
I do plan on giving a little bit of an update when there is updates, and go from there, just so you guys know. But we'll just do the update at the beginning and then do Bible study like we normally do.
Yeah, and we should get through Bible study too next time. So
Maybe we'll get through it.
I hope.
We'll get through a minuscule part of it.
Yeah, well, that's okay. All right, so we're out of time.
Yep, we are.
Yeah, so we thank you for joining us tonight for our not our Bible study, but our glory to God and our message that Mitchell wants to bring to you, that you guys are going to live through his testimony, and that's a big thing. You guys will get to see it. So we appreciate you joining us this evening, and
don't forget to like, subscribe.
Yep, and all of that. You can go to purefaithliving.com to send us an email, and as always, we I don't even remember. My mind's so I don't even know. And as always, we thank you for joining us. What is it?
Don't remember. We ask that you share the show with others so we can all work together in spreading the good news of Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Don't forget
you.
to subscribe,
Yep.
and we will talk to you again.
Have a blessed day, everyone.